Hey guys, Stephen Tony here, and I am back with a new video. And this is going to be a tag video in response. Now, I was not tagged by the person whose video I saw, but I really liked the concept of the tag and wanted to give it a shot myself. So here it goes. Yes, this is the five international films tag, and I found out about it through Daniel at Frank's Collecting Castle. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description. Yeah, I like it. He's a really cool guy. Makes really good uh, videos and has a very cool collection going. So yes, now I'm cheating slightly with this tag. Some of these are tie picks because there were a couple that I really felt I couldn't leave out and I had to include. So, yeah. But first, I'll start with the honorable mentions. Now, my first one, just a second here. Yep, here it is. Okay, now, my first honorable mention in these, in this tag, is the films of Jean Pierre Melville. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Well, he's one of your top favorites. Steve, how come he's not in the top five here? And that as well, yes, I do love Melville. I really got hooked on him over time. I mean, I enjoyed his stuff from the get go, but it took me a few years to become like really impressed by his style and by his themes and everything. So, but I do love his work, and he is deserving to be in a top five as well as be an honorable mention. So that is the films of Melville. Okay, and yeah. Oh yes, and he was one of the first French filmmakers I saw as well. So yeah. Okay, and next for the honorable mentions is the Big Gun Down and my two favorite Mario Bava films, Black Sabbath, aka Three Faces of Fear, and The Girl Who Knew Too Much. These really were the assertions of my love of Italian genre cinema and world genre cinema as well. Like just the stories being told in another language, just as good, and if occasionally not better. And yeah, and yeah, I just I love them all. So yes, like those are my honorable mentions there. Now, how I decided to do this list is the filmmakers and films that made the earliest impressions on me, really got me to continue my love of foreign cinema, and so on and so forth. So all of these will be the early ones. And here we go with the list. Excuse me. Oh man, I had this thing. Excuse me, guys. I had this kind of set up bad here. Excuse me a second. Okay, okay. So at number five and counting down to one one. At 5, and is a tie, is Loie Buñuel's Tristana and Colin Pressburger's A Matter of Life and Death. Now, I have seen a few of Buñuel's other films, mainly his French ones. I have seen at least 2 of his Spanish language features. And this is probably my favorite of his, and an underrated film, I think, as well. Basically, it's set in fascist Spain. This young lady, Tristana, played wonderfully by Catherine Deneuve, who I'll talk about a bit later on. Her mother has just passed away, and she's taken in by a friend of her mother's, Don Lope, played by Fernando Rey, and he essentially attempts to groom her to be his mistress, but she ends up falling for the sculptor Hector, played by Franco Nero. But then a health tragedy has her coming back to Lope, and it just changes her for the absolute worst. This is a really good film about innocence lost, both from outside forces as well as your own choices. Like what happens to her is kind of both her own fault as well as Don Lopez's fault. It is just a really excellent film. There's surrealism in it, but strangely enough, it actually feels more like a almost dark, fantastical nightmare at points. And what's really frightening about Catherine Deneuve's role in the film is that you slowly see her losing her innocence, her love for others, her heart, but her physical features don't change. She remains absolutely lovely, and that she stages such, even though her heart's turned to absolute stone, is really frightening. Like, I think it's one of her most underrated roles, and Buñuel actually had to fight to cast her for the part because a friend of his said, how's this going to appeal to a non-Spanish actor? Because the role is very, Spanish in nature. And I think because that character starts out as naive and unsure of most around her, because purportedly she was raised cloistered, a non-Spanish actor kind of made sense, because they're sort of like, unfamiliar with certain things, in certain cultural manners and like other like social manners and everything. So I thought her casting was spot on. I do miss hearing her voice because she was dubbed into Spanish here, as was Franco Nero. And unfortunately, they didn't include the Italian or French tracks, as audio options, so it isn't the original Spanish, but still, it's a great film. Probably Buñuel's most underrated piece, and that is Tristana. And A Matter of Life and Death was one of the first British films I saw, not counting the Hammer ones, and it's probably my favorite love story. And yes, like this one, in spite of its title, is primarily a love story. This pilot, played by William, oh no, I'm sorry, played by David Niven, he's flying a mission in World War II. His plane gets shot at, and it's starting to crash into the ocean. So he makes the choice to bail out in spite of the parachutes being busted, and he somehow survives. And the last person he talks to that he kind of ends up forming a bond with is this American attaché officer for the RAF. She's the last person he speaks to at the time before he jumps out. He jumps out, survives amazingly, ends up meeting her on a beachside in England, and they fall in love. Well, cut up to heaven, and here he wasn't supposed to survive the crash, and now they're trying to get him to come up to heaven, and he says, like, no, I found a purpose to live, I'm in love. So basically he takes his matter to court, and the really cool thing about this film is that you never really know if this is actually happening or if it's all in his head, because the scenes on Earth are done in glorious Technicolor, and the scenes in heaven are done in black and white. So you have this really mystical vibe going on in the film. And yeah, the love story between David Niven and Kim Hunter, I believe, plays the American attaché. Their love story is really beautiful. It's probably the best love story I've ever seen in a film, and I love it for that. As much as as much as his character fighting for the right to have his date of death changed. Yeah, wonderful film. It's in my top 5 British films ever, which I will eventually do a list on as well. But yeah, I just think I love it, and it is, I think at least a good probable date film, because at the heart is this very beautiful love story. Okay, so these are my picks at number 5. Okay, and number 4, 4, and again, this is a tie here. Okay, and number 4 are the Chestnut of Dr. Mabuse by Fritz Lang, and the Wages of Fear by Henri Georges Clouzot. Yeah, the Testament of Dr. Mabuse was one of my earliest German language film experiences, and my second ever Lang film. I did see M, which, is a great film, although the content can be kind of disturbing at points if you're a little too close to home on the subject matter of that. But this is probably my favorite of his early sound work, because he was able to work in visuals from the new realistic sound era, as well as his origins in German expressionism. This thing just feels like a nightmare brought to life. Germany in the early stages of the National Socialist Party, is being racked by all of these mysterious, deadly acts of crime, and nobody knows who's the man behind the curtain, and the only one who can stop him is the intrepid Inspector Lohman. This is a really great film, glorious black and white. Lang's special effects are awesome in this film. That mixture of realism and expressionism, it just works so well in the film. The story's great. It was a worthy sequel to the 1922 original, which came out about 11 years prior to this film. And I just love it. The story's entertaining and gripping. The acting's great. Yeah, I love it. Just love it. And the Wages of Fear was an early French film for me after Melville. And Clouzot was often viewed as the French Hitchcock, and he really lived up to his moniker with this film. It's set in South America. All these expats are just lounging around in and around this bar. They can't work because they don't have visas, and and they can't get visas because they aren't working. So one day, this oil company from the states has an explosion at their big plant, one of the other villages, and the only way to contain the fire is nitroglycerin. So they test all of the guys in to see who will drive the trucks full of this stuff to the site, which is a very perilous journey, because one wrong move, even the lightest bump, and boom, that's it. It and boy, it is white knuckled. There's a lot of close-ups of these guys' faces. Faces like you'll see the sweat dropping off of them. The like constant anxiety of being at the wheel of these trucks. Never knowing if one wrong move is gonna like lead to your death. And there's a really cool moment where the one truck almost heads off of a cliff, and you're just like white knuckled in your chair, seeing it. It is probably the most well done, tense thriller I've ever seen in my life. Like it's close to 2.5 hours, but it flies by. The story, the pacing, and the characters are just so good, and it made a star almost overnight of Yves Montand, who had up until then just had been the the popular club crooner. He really showed he could act. He dropped his Paris accent for the role, and it has an equally good performance from Charles Vanel, who started off as this really important tough guy in the underworld, and then age slowly starts to catch up with him. Now, the role had originally been offered to Jean Gabon, but he turned it down because he didn't think his audience would like seeing him play the sort of character. I don't know whether I agree or disagree, but Vanel nonetheless does a great job. I love this film so much as well. I am planning on picking up the 4K. I'm just sort of stuck on whether to get the British 4K or the German one. I don't know. Criterion has a 4K of this as well. But I think that might be a bit too expensive for me. I'm not sure. So yeah, The Wages of Fear, great stuff. Okay, and a number three, and this is the last tie, is an Italian double feature, and that is the films of Francesca Rosi. I have Salvatore Giuliano and Hands Over the City. I tried getting in to neorealism when I first started out watching foreign films, but I found them kind of too pretentious after a while. And then I saw these two films, and I knew Francesco Rosi was a student of neorealism, but he did it so much more different. His stories are gripping, they're entertaining. Yes, does he lean more towards a certain cause himself? yes, but how the film works, I'm sorry, how both films work is a is a very objective and in a gray area. He just tells the story as it is, shows both sides of the argument as is, and he lets the viewer make up the mind for themselves. Yeah, and Salvatore Julia, I know he looks at the death of the infamous Sicilian bandit who rose out of the ashes of World War II, and just starts terrorizing the rich all over Italy, and he is also suspected of a communist sympathies, and Rosie just goes down the rabbit hole of how both the Italian government and the mafia hated him and were gunning for him. Yeah, really gripping, really entertaining. It's a largely non professional cast. The only two actors in the film are Salvo Randone, who made his feature film debut here after years in the theater, and this was also the first Italian language film for American actor Frank Wolf, who would go on to have a very successful career in Italian genre cinema. So yeah, and Hands Over the City goes into the debate over a building collapse owned by this company whose boss is Rod Steiger, who plays Eduardo Notola, who also has ambitions to be the city's newest building commissioner, and that just goes into all sorts of area. The politics of the time. How how the people responded to it, how journalists responded to it, how other business types responded to it, but it is done in a very non-propagandic way. Like again, much like Salvatore Julia, I know, just plays out as it is. You see everyone for who they are, and you're left to make like your own conclusions and judgments, and that's really why I love Francesco Rosi so much, because he never did preach the way a lot of the neo-realists did. Like, he would just tell his story, and he would do it in a very entertaining way. Like, a very, entertaining, and thought-provoking way, and, that's why I've always enjoyed his stuff. So, yeah, that is number 3, Salvatore Giuliano and Hands Over the City. Now at number two is a film that really made an impression on me when I first saw it, and that is The Umbrellas of Cherbourg. This also was early on in my French cinema days, and I fell absolutely in love. I mean, like, yeah, it's all done, operatic style and with singing, and you really don't hear any of the actors' voices, but I love it. You know, just this, tragic love story like Romeo and Juliet, at, but different in its own way. You have Catherine Deneuve as the teenage Genevieve who falls in love with the slightly older Guy, played by Nino Castronuevo, and they're just in young love. They want to get married, and then the Algerian conflict starts, and Guy goes off to war, but not before he and Genevieve spend the night together, and she finds out she's pregnant with his baby, and soon all these obstacles start coming into their paths, past, and it's paths. I mean, and it's really just a test of this young love can survive, and it is tragic, Shakespearean, Italian opera like, but I love it. It's beautiful. All of these colors, how Jacques Demy photographed this thing. I mean, it is just beautiful. I love it. And it really made me a fan of Catherine Deneuve. I had already seen her in Un Flic, but this really made me fall head over heels. Like, yeah, and she's been my favorite actress ever since. I just, I love this film, even though it's sad. I love it. I love it. And that is The Umbrellas of Cherbourg. Okay, and it's numero uno, number one, is Yojimbo by Akira Kurosawa. Yes, this really made me a Kurosawa fan as well. I had seen Seven Samurai previously, and I enjoy that film too. But this one just really, really resonated with me. I found that as Kurosawa at his most playful, his most cinematic, some of his best story work. And of course, this would be first remade as a Fistful of Dollars by Sergio Leone. But but this original will always be great. The wandering Ronin who initially looks to profit off of two gangs at war with each other, ends up doing this really great heroic thing, showing he's got a heart, and yeah, just a really, really excellent film. I love it. It is Toshiro Mifune at his best. Great bad guy role from Tatsuya Nakadai. Yeah. I mean, like, I'm sure a lot of other things have been said about this film already on other people's channels, so I won't go so much into it than anybody else has. But I just love it. I love the story. I love the pacing, and again, the characters are excellent. So that is Yojimbo at number 1. Okay, and that'll do it for this video. And for my tags, I'm gonna tag Ties Cult Cinema 83. I'd be curious what his picks are. I'm gonna tag Tim of Tim's Film Waffle. I'd also be curious to see his list. He has talked about foreign language films before in his channel, but I think he'd find this very interesting. I'm also going to tag Sammy G of Sammy G's World of Cinema. I'd be interested as well in what he picks. Also, John of Mono Chalovek movies. I'd be interested in seeing what he picks as well. And finally, I'll go with Jeff of 101 Bronson. He always has very interesting stuff to say, so I'm sure he'll enjoy this as well. And yeah, and yes, thanks for watching. I do hope you enjoyed. If you've seen any of these films, please let me know your thoughts in the comments. Did you like them? Did you not? Did you prefer another of the filmmakers' works over my picks? Yeah, just ask those questions and put down those comments. And if you guys can, please give the video a thumbs up. It does help the channel. And if you haven't already and would like to, please hit that subscribe button and bell notification button for more content like this. And yes, thanks again for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye.